Hi, welcome in and welcome back to the Energy Compass Tarot. My name is Deborah. I'm glad to have you here. You want to have a seat and we'll pull a few cards. We'll see what Spirit needs you to know. These messages are always for your greater good. Their intention is always to bring you back home to your true self. And when I say true self, it's the God version of you, the part of you that remembers that you're deeply loved and that you have an important mission on earth that only you can complete. So you'll know the message is for you because it's going to fit. It's going to confirm what you kind of already know. So don't try to make it fit. The reason for the reading tonight, Page of Swords. Um, Learning something new. Spirit. Oh, 4 months at the bottom of the deck. Spirit gave you something. This cause for celebration. And it sparks this interest in you where you're now doing research. You're tuning everything out. You're putting all your focus on learning this new thing. And it feels like you're a pro. It feels like if you're not a pro already, like you're going to be real soon. Crossing you, we got 4 of Swords and a 9 of Swords. 9 of Swords came out in reverse. Deep rest is required anytime you go through a dark night of the soul. So have you recently been through a dark night of the soul where you're down on your knees of like, what the fuck? It's this feeling of life is never going to be the same again. As you wrap up that season of your life, the most important thing you need to give yourself is deep, deep rest. And I don't mean just sleeping. I mean giving yourself guilt-free rest. Giving yourself time to do nothing and understanding that the doing nothing is really, really important. Oh, Spirit is saying, you're not in this energy anymore, but there's a clearing that needs to happen in the physical vessel that they're doing when you're in rest. So in order to fully get great at this new thing that you're studying, there's this deep rest that Spirit really wants you to do. And I'm going to remind you, I'm going to warn you, when Spirit tells you to rest and you don't do it, they're going to put you in a position where you don't have a choice, if you get what I'm saying. So if Spirit is saying rest, you better listen. What's the recent past? Feels like more than one. King of Cups. You anchored in your own emotions as a storm was taking place around you. And as you did that, you were noticing your ability to steer. This man has a sailboat around him. And it feels like in the recent past, Spirit really tested you and you passed with flying colors. You allowed the emotions to just flow and move through you. And you noticed that those around you kind of followed your lead. Okay, what's the incoming? 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups, a little bit of boredom and apathy. Give me more. 5 of Pentacles. Okay, the incoming energy is you are so bored of storylines that include you being left out in the cold. Six of Swords, you're bored of storylines that put you in a position of being in transition, of in between worlds. Why? Why are you bored of these storylines? Because the world. It's a denial of the fact that you are complete. When you can start to view the things that have happened to you as simply things that happen to you, they're not your actual identity, that's when things can transform and move. But you have to get tired of those stories. And in the near future, they're showing it to me of like, you will want nothing to do with anything of that, anything close to that vibration of, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know who I am. I don't know how this is going to turn out. There was times where I was left out. Those types of stories, you are so unwilling to even touch them with a 10-foot pole, because you know that there's nothing further to gain from them. You're showing up, integrating all of those lessons. You're showing up containing your own world. Meaning you understand it's anchoring through your vibration, and you're an intentional creator, and there's no way you are ever going to create those types of scenarios again. Not to say you won't encounter them, but you're going to be encountering less and less and less and less and less of those because you're done recreating them. You are bored of those types of stories. Okay. I'm out of tea. What's the focus? The moon. Judgment at the bottom of the deck. You seem focused on calling out illusion, recognizing fear for the illusion that it is. You seem focused on getting very clear on where you're going to put your energy. You're realizing that you can't continue to pause. You can't continue to wait. That as soon as you release judgment about how you think things should be, they then move. Your focus is getting yourself out of any sort of illusion of other people having the ability to hold you back by their judgments. Judgment in and of itself is illusion. Like, it's not something tangible. It is something that only exists when you choose to accept it as truth. If you deny someone else's judgment of you, it has no power. In the mind space, there is this focus on not accepting anybody else's judgment, not accepting your own limiting beliefs, not accepting fear. And you're not willing to, like, where am I going here? You're not willing to let fear and judgment kind of tie you up in waiting any longer. You've seen what you need to see. Okay, moving on. What's the underlying? Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords. Waiting, waiting for the work that you've done to bear fruit. Having faith that it's going to happen exactly when it's supposed to happen, that everything that you put out into the world is always going to return. And the shift is you stop anticipating Seven of Swords. If you're continually looking for something to protect yourself from it, you will continually find things to protect yourself from. In the underlying, there is a switch where within the projection of your mind, you are projecting out Seven of Pentacles instead of projecting out things that involve betrayal, deceit. Does it still exist out there? Yeah, but it starts to fade from your existence when it's not the underlying program anymore. Good job. That is not an easy reprogram to do. But you're going to see real quick the positive impact that rewiring has on your life. How are you viewing yourself? Four of Wands, Six of Wands. Okay. You're celebrating yourself. You were probably programmed to not celebrate yourself. You were probably programmed not to be too much, too bright, too shiny. You're out of those programs. You are showing up within your authenticity using your gifts, and you're being rewarded. You are being seen. You are being celebrated because you are now willing to stand up and be you and to celebrate you being you. Yeah. What's surrounding? Eight of Cups, Five of Cups. You walked away uh, of any situations that left you in pain, left you feeling abandoned, left you feeling not enough. What's the hopes and fears? Another twofer. Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Truth equals Pentacles. Truth equals Pentacles. There's nothing to fear when you're walking in your truth. Not only are you going to have what you need, you are going to have way more, way more than you have ever dreamed. And the key is Ace of Swords. The key is staying in your truth. You can trust the truth. What's the outcome? Nine of Wands, Five of Wands. The outcome is having more than enough. The outcome is living your version of luxury. And when this occurs, Five of Wands, there's going to be some competition, right? And Spirit is saying it's because you've blown the competition away. That's the outcome. Where we started was you're learning something new. Crossing you is the need to rest, to finally shed the dark night of the soul. You've passed the test of being a calming anchor in a storm. And because of this, because you've tapped into the true love from Spirit and of yourself, any storylines, any stories that involve you being left out in the cold, of being in a time of in between or not knowing, are just absolutely boring. You have nothing to give those types of stories because you know they're not rooted in truth. You know that you are whole and complete, loved, worthy, and capable. And in the mind space, there is a calling out of any sort of fear or illusion or judgments that pull you out of that knowing. You're pulling yourself out of this concept of needing to wait and analyze something further. No, you do not. You are intentionally training your subconscious mind to look for the fruits of your labor instead of looking for things to be hurt by. You are standing up and being your authentic self, using your God given gifts and talents, and celebrating that for the awesomeness that it is. Around you, you're truly walking away. You are leaving things in the past. In the past, you don't need it. You are going to be provided for when you walk within truth, speaking your truth. You are going to have more than enough. And the reason for this is you recognize there is no competition. The only competition is you being in alignment with spirit, you being the most you. Woo! I hope you got what you needed from this reading. And I hope you come again. If you'd like some more, make sure you subscribe. See you later.